Now let me go for bulk insert task.
Good evening, sir.
Okay, let me go for bulk insert task. So suppose if you want to load the data, okay, if you want source data is coming in a text file, okay, and if you want to push the data into the already existing table, okay, then you can go for this bulk insert task. Okay, so usually how will you load the text file data into your SQL table? So which transformation or which task you will use? Suppose if I want to load the data from a text file into the SQL Server table, what we will do is first of all you will go and use this data flow task. Okay. So inside this data flow task, so you will take the flat file source. So since your source is coming from the text file, you will take the flat file source and you will load it into the, if you want to load it into the SQL table, you will take the OLDB as destination. Okay, so this is how we can load the flat file data into the SQL table. Okay, but instead of doing this, if the table is already existed, okay, so here only difference is, let us say that, so let us see some bulk data. Okay, so let us say that, so I have some bulk text. So now you can see I have some huge amount of data presented in the text file. Okay, so this text file contains, first column contains data or not? Yes, it contains the data. Okay, now if I want to load this data into the SQL table, so here you can go on. Usually we need to create a connection. So let me create a connection. Let us go for bulk file. Okay, bulk data connection. Okay, now let us go and browse. So let me locate the text file. Okay, so under the desktop, under the merge source folder, I have the EMP bulk text data is there. So let me go for it. And you can go under the first row contains columns. The first row contains the header row. Yes, the first row contains the header row. Now you can see this is the data present in the text. Okay, so it will show the whatever the number of records. Okay, so this is your source data, and if you want to push to the new table, okay, then you can go for this OLDB connection destination. Let me create a connection to the database into which I want to load. So let me say that I want to load into the DB SSIS database. Let me test it. Okay, click on OK. Okay. Now under this which table, so either you want to create into a new table, okay, or if you want to push it to the already existing table, you have to go and select on this list. Okay, so it will show the list of tables. Okay, or if you want to push it to a new table, you have to click on this new button. So here you can go on specify the date. Let us say table underscore bulk. Okay, now with the specified columns, it will go and create a table with this. Okay, go to the mappings and click on. Okay, so this is how normally you will push the data from flat file to OLEDB file. Okay, but if you don't want to use it, okay, so here we are creating a flat file and a connection. Okay, instead of this doing two tasks, if you want to handle using a single task, then we can go for this bulk insert task also. Okay, so this bulk insert task do the operation like this. Okay, so inside this bulk insert task, we have the option. So you can go to the connection. Here you can see that here if your source is a flat file, okay, it will work for only the flat file connections. Means if the source is a text files or CSV files. Okay, now the connection is already existing. Do you want to reuse it? Yes. Means this is nothing but the connection to the text file. Okay, now where you want to load? I want to load it to the which table. Let us go and say which connection your table is present in DB7 and into which table. So if the table here, the table should already exist. Okay, now you can see the table is already I have created. So how to I can reuse it. So there is no option to create a new table here. Okay, you can just put it to the already existing table. Okay, and here we have to specify how the rows and columns are separated. Okay, so here you can go and see that. So how the rows and columns are separated. So the rows are separated by CRLF, that is enter. Okay, and the columns are separated by commas. Okay, the column values are separated by commas and the row values are separated by enter keyword. Okay, Durga Prasad, can you please mute from your side?
Okay, sir.
Okay, so now you can see. So we are already pushing into the existing table like this. Okay, now let us go for. Now you can see we have selected the connection and we have selected the destination and how the rows are separated by the enter keyword. No? So here I have specified CRLF is nothing but the another form of enter keyword. Okay, and how the column values are separated? The column values are separated by comma. No? So here we have to go and select that comma option. Okay, so that's it. Now let us go and click on it. Okay, now let us go
Sir,
to the table here. Yes.
sir, already we have here. I mean, you told. I mean, you can't create the table here, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
So you have to create the table in
So,
Management Studio, and then you have to
yes. So the table now here, when I executing this, so when I click on
you
this,
created it.
yes, yes, whatever you created with the same table, so it is already, let us see whether it is already present in the DB size 7 or not. Now let us go and see. So I'm connected to the DB size 7. Now let us see. As soon as I specified the name there, no, I think it should create. Let us see whether the table is created or not. Now you can see the table is already created with the specified column names.
Yes, sir. But what you did is you have taken data flow task and you created over there. But
Yes,
when you are going to bulk insert, you didn't
yes,
create all. I mean, earlier you created, so you have taken it. But
yes,
if you, I mean, you told we can't create the table. So
yes,
we
yes,
have to go back in the SQL Server, I
yes,
mean
yes,
Management Studio, and you have to create the table, and then you have to select that table,
yes,
right?
yes, yes,
Okay.
yes. So if
Okay,
it
sir.
is not there, we have to go to the SQL server and we have to create that table in that particular database.
So same columns you have to give
Yes,
it
yes,
to
yes.
the
The
table.
same columns you have to create.
Yeah. Okay, sir.
Okay, so since I have, for explanation, I have taken this now. So because of this, it is
Yeah.
already created there. Okay,
Yeah.
okay, now let us go for it. So here, so we have taken the source. Okay, we have taken the source file, destination table, and we have specified the row delimiter and the column delimiter values. Now let us go and see. Yes, the table is already existed. Is already existed. Now let us go and try to insert the data. Okay. Now we can see. So we are able to push the data. Okay, directly from this. Now you can go and see that. So now we can see that it has inserted the all the data. Okay, whatever data present in that table. Okay, it has pushed all the data, and now you can see that it has taken the first title row also. First title row also it has taken. Okay, so when you are uh, pushing the data from flat file to destination table, so there we have an option that if the first row contains column names or not. If it is first row contains column names, it is not pushing the data. It is not pushing the header row data. Okay, but here in the bulk insert, we can see that it is pushing the title row also. So how to avoid this? Okay, how to avoid this? Let me see. So let me delete the records. So let me. I have deleted the records again. Now let us go and see that. Now in this bulk insert task, we have some options like we can go and see. So here we can go and specify the first row. Okay, so the first row, do you want to start with the second one or not? Now you can see if I go and specify it, copy the data, do not from the first row, copy the data from the second row. So your source file contains first row contains title row. If the source file first row contains title row, so what I'm telling here is don't copy the data from the first row. Okay, don't start copying the data from the first row. Start from the second row like this. Okay, and last row 0 means infinite, means up to the last record. Okay, suppose if you want to start, if you want to last row, if you want to copy only the first 10 rows, then you have to go and specify the 10 like this. Okay, you can specify the first row, and we can specify the how many rows I want to copy. And if do you want to specify the batch size, means if you want to copy in a batches, 10 rows as a set, 20 rows as a set, you can go and specify like this. Okay, now let us see that. So what I want to do is I want to copy the data from the second row, and how many rows I have to copy up to the 10th row. Now let us see, you can go do that or not. Now you can go and see that how many rows are copied into this. Now you can see, so starting from the second row. So it has not copied the title row, it has started copying from the second row. So counted up to the 10th row. That is, number of records is 9 records is counted like this. Okay, so those options we have a facility to set those options to the bulk insert task. And also we have options like check constraints. Means if any constraints are there, if any check constraints are there, means salary value should be greater than 10,000. If any check constraints are there, do you want to follow those? Yes. Do you want to keep null values? If you want to allow null values, keep null values, you can go and select this. And if any identity insert is there, do you want to enable that? You can go and check that one. And do you want to log the table when the insertion is going on? Do you want to log the table? You can go to. And if any triggers are there on the table, do you want to fire them? Yes. If you want, you can go and check that like that. Okay. So this is about the bulk insert task. So if the table is already present, destination table is already present, and your source data is coming in a text file, okay, then you can simply use this bulk insert task. Okay, so instead of this data flow task, you can use this bulk insert. This will work for only text files. We cannot select a Excel file or we cannot select any SQL table as a source. So that is about bulk insert task. Now let me go for data profiling task. Okay, let me go for data profiling task. So what is this data profile? So what is the meaning of profiling? So profiling is nothing but identifying the junk data. Okay. So profiling is nothing but if you want to clean your table data, then you have to go for this data profiling task. Okay. So if you want to clean the table data, first of all, we have to identify the list of junk data. No? Okay, to identify the junk data or any invalid entries or incorrect entries, okay, or invalid data, we go for this profiler task. Okay, in order to identify the junk data, okay, in any table. Okay, in order to clean the table, first of all, we have to identify the junk data. No? Okay, so to identify the junk data, we have this data profiler. Now let us see how it can identify. Now let me go for it. Double click on it. Now you can see that we have an option called quick profile option is there. Okay. So we have an option called quick profile option is there. Select this quick profile. Now here you can see that okay, your table is present in which database. First of all, we have to create a connection. Okay. Now let us say I want to clean the data present in one of the database. Let me take the database as in which I have some huge amount of data. Let us say adventure books. So in this AdventureWorks database, I have a table called some dim product table is there. So you can go and see how many rows I have. I have some 600 rows on there. Okay. So let me select analyze about this table data. Okay. So your table is present in AdventureWorks data warehouse now. So you have to go and create a connection to the database. So let me go on create. I think I already clicked on it. Okay, sorry. I have to specify the server name. I thought it is not open. And let me create a connection to the AdventureWorks database. Okay, now I have created a connection to the AdventureWorks database. In that database, so which table data you want to analyze? So let me select dim product table data. Okay, so it will analyze the statistics details and it will analyze the null values, value distribution, length value distribution, all those things. So let me click on OK. After selecting the database and the table, so let me click on OK. Now you can see it is doing some analysis about the null record, statistics of your table data, lengthwise distribution, value-wise distribution like that. Now after analyzing the data, where you want to store, go to the general section and here we can specify the destination. So where you want to store the analyzed data. Now let me go for, so is it existing file? No, I want to create a new file. Then let's select the create file option. So where you want to create, let me go for F drive. I think we have one folder for our project. So in this folder already we have one project file. Okay, so let me create the data profiler output. So data profiler output. Okay, so dot, let me store it in the XML format. Okay, I'm storing it in XML file. Click on it. So if the destination is already present, do you want to overwrite it? Yes, I want to overwrite it. Okay, that's it. So I have selected the quick profile option and I have selected which table data I have to profile. And the result I want to store it in the data profiler output file. Okay, in the XML format. Okay, now let us go and execute this. So now you can go and see. So let us go to our folder. F drive, let us go to our SSIS. So Kerala folder. Now here you can see, do we have any? So we have the data profiler output.xml file is there. Okay. So we have some data about something like 735 KB data is there. Now how to view this data which is present in this XML file. Okay. So to view this data, we have in your computer, we might have the data profile viewer. So we can see that have some application. Okay. Once you install, you can go and cross check it. Usually it will be there. So once you install the SQL Server, it should be there. So let us go for data profiler viewer to view the profile output. So here you can go and see. So let me open the file. So now you can go and see. Let us open the data profiler output. So now you can see that. Okay. So now you can see it has given the output for dim product table. So which is present in the AdventureWorks database under the Balaji PC server. So it is given the analysis about your dim product table. Okay. Now let us go one by one. So we have one of the column called length distribution profile. So let us go and see. So if I select this length distribution, so this is the result. So it is giving information about each and every column. So in that table, how many columns are there? It is giving information about each and every column. Okay. So you can go and see it has one column called Arabic description, Chinese description, color value. So now you can go and see it has one column called color column also. So you can see it has one column called color. Okay, so that is what it is showing here. Okay, so you can see that color. What is the minimum length available? That is 2 color. Our maximum length is 12. Okay, so any leading spaces, any trailing spaces, you can go and see. Now for a color, is there any color with length as 2? Is there any color with maximum length as 12? We can go and cross check the table data. Now you can go and see that. Let us select distinct color. So is there any color with a 2-letter length? Now you can see we have a color called NDM is not available. And here you can see one more color is there with a silver/black. Okay, which is of length 12. So that is what it is showing here. Okay, 2 and 2. And you can see the lengthwise distribution means with the 2 color length, how many records are there? 254 records are there. Okay, so you can go and tell to that customer, hey, we have a color called not available color. So with the 254 records are there. So do you want me to keep these records? Okay, in order to clean the data. So do you want me to keep these records or not? So you can send confirmation to the customer. So I think these are invalid data. So do you think the same? Okay, let me confirm. Okay, like that. So you can go and see with the NDA, there is some 254 records. Let us see whether that is correct or not. So let us see count of records. Okay, color equal to NDA. So let us see how many records are there. We can see 254 records are there. So like that, it is giving us okay. So with black color, this 5 length of color is 5 is black or white. Okay. So with that color, there are 155 records are there. Okay. It is giving us the lengthwise distribution for each and every column. In that column, whichever how many different types of length records are there, and you can go and see it is giving us the lengthwise distribution like this. And we have one more column called one more analysis called value-wise distribution. Now you can go and see that this will give you the correct information. Okay, if I select the value-wise distribution, you can go and see the color. Now you can see. So with this NDA, earlier it has given the length-wise. Now you can see it is showing the value-wise. So with this NDA, there are 254 records. Okay, so with the black color, there are 133 records. So with the white color, there are 4 records like this. Okay, with multicolor, there are 18 records like this. Okay, so here it is will give you the correct value, correct analysis. Like if you treat that any invalid data or junk data is there, so it will go and show that okay, this is the junk data and how many records? 25 records are there. So with this value-wise distribution, you can easily identify the what is the junk data and how many records are there with that junk data like that. Okay, like this. Similarly, we have the one more called null ratio. Means in each column, how many null records are there, null values are there. So out of you can see that end date out of 600 records. Okay, out of 600 records, so the total count is 600. No? So out of 600 records, we have the 406 records as null values. So you can go and ask the customer, hey, do you really require this column? Now you can say I have one more column called status new, in which all the records are null values. 100% of the records are null values. So we can go and check with the customer. Hey, do you still require this column? Do you want me to remove this column like this? Okay, so this will give you the each column wise null records like that. Okay, like this. Now let us go for statistics. So we have one more called statistics, which will give the values for analysis for any integer columns, not for string columns. It will give the analysis for integer columns and date columns. Okay, now you can see that if you have any field, let us say dealer price, what is the minimum price, maximum price, what is the mean value, standard deviation value, like this. For any integer column or float column, now you can see list price, product key, reordered point, what is the minimum value, standard cost, minimum value, maximum value, what is the mean, average value, mean is average, and the standard deviation. Similarly for date fields, what is the minimum date, maximum date, like that. Okay. So these are all the information it will give about your table data. And here we have one more thing called candidate key profile. So it will analyze and give that, okay, which key is eligible to become a primary key. Okay. So if the primary key is already not present in this table, so it will go and give the key, any key column is, if this key in this column, if there are no duplicates or there are no null values, okay, so then those columns are eligible to become a primary key, no? So those are all called as candidate keys. Okay, so it will give that list of column names. Okay, which columns are eligible to become a primary key? So it will give the list of those columns here. Like this. Okay, that is about data profiling task. Okay, understood?
Sir, you saved it in XML file, right?
Yes, yes.
I mean, if you save in a Excel file or .txt files, it will show in the same way, or
I think so. Let me see. Let me see. So I don't think there is that many differences there. So let me save it in the same folder. So let me see that. Okay, I'm saving to the text file. Now let us go and see. So it has stored the data in text file also. Okay. Now let us go and you can see profile.txt file also is there. Now let us go and view the data profiler view. So now you can see it is asking for XML files by default. Now let us see the text files. Let us see whether it will take this. Stop profile.txt. Yes, I think. So we are able to, let us see. Yes. So yeah. So we are able to save it in a text file and we are able to open it also.
okay, sir.
And here you can see that when in the case of value distribution, it is giving me the number of distinct values also. That information also is number of rows, number of distinct records. It is giving that value. So each table, what is that distinct records like? So let us go for next one, that is execute package task. Okay. So let me go for create a new package. Let me rename it. Okay. Now let me go for execute package task. So this is for uh, suppose let us say that your package there are multiple tasks. No? So if there is any dependency between these tasks, between these packages, task means here packages. No? So if there is any, if you want to define the dependency, okay, like first this package has to execute, and after this another package has to execute, after that another package has to execute. Means if there is any dependency between your packages and you want to execute one after the other, okay, you can go and define those dependencies, and you can define the order of execution of packages in this execute package task. Okay. Suppose first if you think that first my bulk insert task should execute, and after that, after execution of this package, so let us say that data profiling task has to execute, this package has to execute, and after this any execute or file system task has to execute. Okay, so if you want to find the dependence between them, okay, like if you want to define the dependency, then you have to use this, you can use this execute package task. Now let us see what is that. If you go and open it, inside this you can call another package. Now you can see which package you want to execute. You have to select that, and under this package you can select one of the package. Let us say first of all I want to execute the bulk insert task package. Click on it. After executing this bulk insert task package, so inside this I have used the bulk insert task. Okay, inside this I have executed the bulk insert task package. I am calling the bulk insert task package. Okay, so here I am calling the bulk insert task package. And after this, I want to execute the data profiling task package. So let me go on and drag and drop one more execute package. And after this, let me call the execution of data profiling task package. Okay, now you can go and see executing. Okay, data profiling task. Okay, like this. And let me go for suppose after this. So after executing the bulk insert task, I want to execute this data profiling package. And after this, let me go for, so let us see that is there any package for, is there anything is, yes, I want to execute this package for, let me go for give a new name. Okay, let me give the error spongy group package. Now after executing the data profiling package, if I want to execute this, okay, so data fuzzy group package, let me click on chapter. So if you want to execute these packages one after the other, is if you want to set the dependency between the two packages, okay, if you want to set the order of execution of your packages, then you can go and use this execute package task, where you can define the order of execution of your package. Okay, like this. So first it will go and execute this one, and after executing this package, it will go and execute the data profiling package, and after that it will execute the fuzzy group package. Now let me go and execute this. So now you can see it is coming and executing the data profiling task, data profiling package. So after that, it is going for, sorry, earlier it has gone for bulk insert. Now it is going for data profiling, and after that it is going for fuzzy group task. Okay, so here you can see first of all this, and after this, and after this it has executed. And if the first one got failed, if you don't want to execute, then it leads to won't execute. Okay, if you want to control the execution of your packages, if you want to if you want to define the dependency for the execution of your packages, then you can go and use this execute package task. Then you can go and use this execute package task. Okay, so this is like a package. Okay, this is like a package inside the another package. Okay, so this is a package inside, we are calling the another package to execute. Okay, understood? So this is about execute package task. Okay. And we have one more called execute process task. So we have one more called execute process task. So do you want to execute any exe commands, or do you want to open any applications? Okay, then we have to go for this execute process task. Okay, if you want to execute, okay, uh, any exe commands, or if you want to open any uh, applications, then we have to go for this execute process task. So let me show you some examples. So if you go and see that icon itself is showing it as a command prompt. Okay, so if you want to execute any exe files, now let us go and see. Suppose if you want to open a notepad application, then you can go and write notepad. If you want to open any text file, then you can go and write like this, notepad.exe. Okay, so now you can go to this. Now you can see opening a notepad. New text. Now to open a new text file or a notepad, what I have written is, we have an executable section where I have gone and write notepad.exe. Okay, now you can go and see that. Now you can see a text file or a notepad file is opened for. Okay, so here I have written the exe file. Okay, this you are opening one application, notepad application. Okay, similarly, if I want to open one, similarly if I want to open any uh, Excel file, then you can go and use this task also. Okay, now let us go and see. So now the executable file. Okay, so if I simply go and give the excel.exe, it won't work. Okay, if I directly go and give the excel.exe, it won't work like a notepad. We have to give the location of this exe file. We have to give the location of the exe file. Now you can see it is not opening it. Is not in a path. Suppose if you want to open an Excel file, okay, a new Excel file, then we have to go and give the path of the exe file, location of the exe file. Now, where is your exe software application is located? So usually it will be the C drive, program files, under the Microsoft Office. So I don't have the excel.exe file here. Let me go for this Excel from Excel program files 86. So under the Microsoft Office, Go for Office 40. Yes, specific. I have the excel.exe is present in this location. Okay, so you can go and give this path here. Okay, so let me get the path of that, and we have to give the full path here. So slash excel.exe. So we have to give the full path for which is that exe file is present under this folder. So C drive program files, Microsoft Office, Office 14 slash excel.exe. So once you give the full path, then you can try, you can open a new Excel file here. So now you can see we are able to open a new Excel file like this. Just a minute. Okay, suppose if you want to open an already existing file, okay, if you want to open an already existing file, so we have to give the path of the existing file. Okay, so here this is opening a new Excel file. So you can go and see. So it is opening a new Excel file. Suppose if I want to open a already existing file, then I have to go and give this. So yeah, I will continue tomorrow. Anyhow, it will take some more time, so about 10 to 20 minutes. Okay, I will continue tomorrow. Okay, we will have some multiple examples on this. So this execute process task is mainly used to zip and unzip a file. Okay, so we can open an already existing Excel files, and we can open it. We can zip a file and we can unzip a file and fold it. So anyhow, it will take some more 10 minutes.
Okay, sir. Sir, I have a question, sir.
So yes, tell me.
Yeah, suppose if they ask like what are the tasks in SSIS, then
Okay,
in SSIS package, how many tasks we will have, sir? Actually, we have lot of tasks, right?
but we don't use so many here. Okay,
Okay.
so this is for since SSIS has to support each and every project, so they have
Mm-hmm.
given the multiple tasks. So here,
Okay.
which are present in the other tasks, are mostly related to the DBA tasks.
Okay.
So these are mostly helpful for DBA people, so which are present in the other tasks. But here also, for interview purpose, okay, I will cover 80% of them.
Yeah, but if they ask like what are the types in what are the types of
Yes.
packages,
So
task in
task, yeah.
SSIS package,
So
then
which are present in the common list, you can go and tell all those things.
okay.
Okay,
I
so which
mean
are
data flow
present
task, data
from data flow
data
task
flow task.
execute. So which task you have
Okay.
used mostly means you can go and tell data flow task and execute SQL task. Okay,
Okay.
90%
And
of our work will ends with these two tasks. And whenever you are dealing
okay.
with file system task and send mail task also is useful, and uh, analysis services, XML files. So we can maximum we can tell these tasks. That is more than
Okay, sir.
okay.
Okay, sir.
So
Sir, if you
now,
have, I mean, if you know some interview questions,
yeah, yeah, sure.
please let me know, sir.
Yes, yes, yes. So let me shift have some more. I need to make a name. So can you tell me where I'll see? I have shared the videos also.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Okay, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.